time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We've got Bryant Falconer in the studio, our host, co-host with the most.
No, man.
What's going on, bro? How
Man,
you been?
I'm doing good, bro. Just chilling.
You know what? I haven't seen you hardly at all this week.
Yeah, working, man. Trying to handle some business. Had to do some hiring, so I was doing a lot of interviews.
Oh, okay. So what's your plan for Thanksgiving? Are you going to be here in town? Or you
No, we're going down to Killeen.
Oh, okay.
Going down to Killeen, going down there to, I guess, locations we're going to have to go to. My son's house, and then my other kids are going to be at my ex-wife's house, so we're going to go over there for an event also. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, hopefully.
Good times with family.
Yeah, the weather's saying it's supposed to be freezing rain down there, so
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, I hadn't seen that. What's it
Yeah.
going to be here?
it's supposed to be 32 here.
I'll take it if it's not freezing rain.
If it's not rain with it, guys.
Right. So, I don't know if you knew, but I'll be working. Yeah. So,
But you get another holiday off,
I
right?
get Christmas.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I want to work Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I understand.
You know.
I understand.
I don't want to work. I mean, I do
But not in
all
the
the
industry.
time. Yeah. You know.
I don't want to spend all my time at work. I got you.
Yeah, you know, we had a guy retire this week. 55
Ain't gonna happen.
years.
Ain't gonna happen.
55.
I don't care if I started working at 16. I'm not working 55 years.
He started at 17,
Nope.
and now he's 69.
55, 17. That's not 69.
All right, well,
72, bro.
yeah, 72.
I was like, wait a minute. Is my math off? I had to do that in my head. And I was like,
I didn't actually.
55 and 17.
Hey, I didn't actually
69.
I didn't run the numbers. I just took a stab at it.
I said, Lubbock, man.
I was like, he looks 69.
He's old.
So anyway, hey, let's get back to the cigar part
Gotcha.
of the show. What are you smoking?
Man, I'm smoking a LFD Andalusian Bull.
Cigar of the year for 2015.
15.
How is it?
It's holding up good, man.
Because you know
You
I've had so many dog rockets.
Yes, from that on this.
Well, not just that. I just
LFDs,
look, put it over here. I just smoked. Well, I didn't even get an inch in. It sucks. That's why I don't smoke LFD.
He said it wasn't good.
It used to be a good brand, and I know this is age, but you know what? They're
We'll leave it alone. What are you smoking right now?
Oh, I'm smoking a Maduro from Tabanero.
Good stick.
Yes, and
Ain't no problem.
yeah, you know, I'll tell you something that was really cool.
Talk about it.
So, not today, but a week from today, we have an interview, special show that we're not going to do the regular show. We're going to do me introduction, and then we're going to do a great interview. I really enjoyed talking to this guy, and I hate to spoil it. Should I spoil it or not?
No.
All right. Well, after the week after, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Why? You remind me.
We need to write that down. Where's the
Yeah.
whiteboard?
So anyway, and you know, yesterday was great because I had two
Interviews.
really good interviews. I was really excited after both of them,
Good.
and I mean, the second one was like, I was like, you know what? That's a show.
Nothing needed to add.
You know what? You don't have to listen to me and Bryant drone on. So
We got a great interview for you this time.
right. So that's where I'm excited about that show.
Good,
anyway,
good.
I'm drinking the Wild Turkey 101. I've had a couple of those today.
I'm drinking the Propel Zero Sugar full of electrolytes.
Yep. How's that pairing up?
Truthfully, it's okay.
Now, that's got a flavor to
Yeah,
it.
a great flavor to it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not overpowering, so it's not messing with the stick at all. So I'm kind of okay with it.
Okay. Hey,
It's
whatever
not the-
works for you.
It's not nothing that I would pub out like, hey, try Propel with Andalusian Bull. But for right now, it's good, man.
Very nice. And you're still on the no sugar thing.
Yes.
And now, why is that again?
Because of the doctor, they want to do some blood tests on me.
And when are they doing these tests?
December 3rd.
Oh, okay. So like in a week or two.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like 2 months from now, and I'm like, dude, how long?
It's going on 3 months.
Dude, why would you not be able to eat sugar for 3 months?
Because
it can't stay in your body that long.
Yes, they do a test, a test for sugar that goes back 6 months.
What are they pulling air off of your butt?
No, it's blood. It's blood, but it gives a more concise view of how much sugar intake you've had in the last 6 months. So, and we did the last one. It was a 6 month one. She said she wanted to do a 3 month one because they're trying to say that I'm borderline diabetic, and I'm like, you're a lie.
I hope for you she doesn't say, hey, let's do a year.
Now, that would be an issue. I'd be like, man, you just go and forget it.
So have you cut 100% sugar out? 100%. I have a hard time buying that.
I don't eat bread. I don't eat white potatoes, red potatoes. I don't anything with a starch that can be turned into sugar.
How about a tortilla?
Nope. Corn.
No corn.
With corn, not with flour.
Oh, you can eat corn tortillas.
Yeah,
okay. Well, hey, if you're eating street tacos, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got a great interview coming up a little bit later. Man, and you guys are in for a treat. She is a cigar aficionado from across the pond. She's in England, and great story, and just a, interesting person.
Most definitely.
Dude, she's an author, a journalist, a mechanic. She has 3 motorcycles. She's been smoking cigars since 2020. And she's just like, if she wants to do something, she just goes out and learns how to do it.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Learn how to do it instead of jumping in and first cigar you smoke is a Maduro, and you're like, ooh, why did I feel like this? You need to learn. You need to do a little education, do a little research on it. Try to find something about it, but don't just dive yourself in there and then you're like, oh man, I don't think I can do this. Yeah, because you jumped way off into the grown man edge.
Right. And you know,
it.
I was on a podcast last night just shooting the breeze with these guys that were actually doing a show, but I was typing. You know, I wasn't actually on the show.
You were commenting.
Yeah, but I was the only one.
So you were the guest.
Kinda. But I tell you what, man, I met 3 really incredible people. Good. And I learned some things from them, and I hope they learned some things from me.
We have to predicate things that are learned from you. Because
True. I mean about podcasting.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it was about podcasting.
Right.
Oh, well, you gave them a lot of information because you're real versed on that. Yeah.
I mean, because I learned by trial and error.
We did.
I mean, today, after almost 3 years, is the first day the audio is spot on.
when Larry walked in.
So anyway, we had a great conversation last night, and I learned some things about the video part.
Oh.
And I mean, you know, I'm always down to learn anything.
I'm gonna leave that
and I do mean anything.
Dude, that door swung open. It's like, nope.
You're like, that's big enough for me to walk through.
Nope, I'm not doing it.
So let's talk about our sponsors quick. We got one right there on the wall next to you.
The Leaf. Cigar Pipes Coffee in Abilene, Texas, established 1998.
And they have some of the best coffee. Oh. And you know what? I walked into a guy in the checkout line at the Leaf, I think it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I was like getting a cup of coffee, and I was like, hey, man, you drink coffee? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, have you had this coffee? And he's like, no. And I was like, best coffee in town.
Best coffee.
Am I exaggerating?
You're not exaggerating. My wife stopped drinking coffee from everywhere else. I have to go get ground, either the Brazilian or the Sumatra for her. She will not drink coffee unless I go to the Leaf and get her a bag. And it lasts her. And then she's like, I'm running low. I'm like, so you mean I got to go get it?
You know where it is.
You know where it is, and you know how they do it. Okay, I got you.
But they have what, like 18 different blends of coffee?
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is about? It's a lot of blends.
Yeah. And my go-to is the Sumatra,
Mine
the
too.
Costa Rican, or the Colombia. Those three there are my go-tos. The only one I really don't care for, and I still drink it, and I know it's one of yours, is the Kenya AA.
Kenya AA.
It just has too much of a bitter little bite on the end.
But I love that bitter bite.
Yeah, I know you do, but it's just
here.
too much for me.
You're here.
Yeah, and
you
I don't want it to let me know I'm here. I just want to enjoy it.
Ready.
You look like you've got Tourette's.
It gets you that way. Ready.
So anyway, guys, if you need anything that has to do with pipes and cigars, tobacco pipe, coffee accessories, man beard oil.
True.
I
Man
mean,
beard oils.
They got if you're a man, or at least if you identify as one, you should call the Leaf because they got something for you. And they take care of everyone, dude, because their main focus. What is wrong with you?
You threw pronouns out, man. Him, he. At least if you identify him, he. I'm him, he.
You know what? On this show, everybody's welcome.
I know, but why did you say that? Where did that come from?
I've been trying to get more in tune. All right.
I'll leave it alone.
Thank you. I'm just trying to say everybody is inclusive here.
Yes.
So anyway, if you need something from the Leaf and you're not within 50 miles, call them up. They'll take care of you. They will ship it out. But if you are within 50 miles, it's 1166 North 2nd Street in Abilene, Texas. And, dude, I mean, the Leaf has knocked it out of the park. It is so much better than we ever thought it would be.
No cap.
When they moved.
No cap.
Yeah.
You're telling the truth, bro. I'll leave it at that.
So down in the show notes, you can call them up, make an order, and you know what? As long as you're making an order, you might as well ask about the McAuliffe line because they do carry the McAuliffe line. And next week's show, what I was going to talk to you about has to do with McAuliffe.
Okay.
And so that's all I'm going to say for now.
Leave it alone.
But it was awesome. Then McAuliffe has like 15 different facings.
Yes.
They've got a blend for every palate and a price point.
4 to 42. And
I mean,
it's so perfect because it doesn't matter.
And let me tell you, on their 4 to 42,
I like it. You got it.
as you go up in price, every cigar holds more value than that target price.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like every cigar they have priced, you're like, yeah, that could be, this much.
Could be a $6-7 stick. You get to the 42.
All right, don't be giving them ideas.
True. Shut up, Brian. I'm done.
No, but they understand the value, and I mean, how many times have you ever pulled a McAuliffe off the shelf and had a burn issue with it?
I've never had an issue with a McAuliffe.
Never.
And I've
Dude,
smoked.
That is amazing.
And I can say I've smoked more McAuliffes than I've smoked any other cigar, and I've never had an issue.
I've never had a cigar issue with any of them, and I mean, dude, and you know how many I have.
Yeah.
I mean,
I pale in comparison.
I told that guy I average probably 40 McAuliffes a month.
That's on the low average.
Right. I'm being conservative.
Just let him get into that medallion phase, and he'll just smoke 40 medallions in a month.
I've done
not
that.
including the others.
I've done that.
Oh, I know.
I smoked the entire box of the Toro and the Coronas Extra.
To prove a point.
And you know what? The box comes with 24, so that was actually 48. But, yeah, I've never had an issue with any of the McAuliffes I've smoked. So if you haven't tried McAuliffe and they're not at your local shop, go to your local shop first. But if they're not there, ask them to carry it. And until they do, call Jay at the Leaf, and he will set you up. Yes. And then let's talk about our pick 6 for the
most
week.
Definitely. I got to start off first.
Yeah.
Okay. In no order, I'm going to go against him. And one of mine for this week was the LFD Factory Press.
Hey, you want another one? You want another
I
one?
don't want that one.
I'll clip it.
No, bro. I'm good. I'm good.
Larry's like, I'll take it.
It was actually a good stick, man. I don't know what it is with you, but we'll have the same sticks, and mine will burn and taste great. And you'll see over there be blowing up. He looking at it like, look at yours and look at mine.
Yeah, you remember that ATL stick
yes.
last week?
Yes.
And did that make it on the show, or was that the episode I accidentally lost?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, no, it was out. It was out.
Yeah.
It was out. Because just so everybody that knows, this is the second time we're doing this show.
Yep. Something happened. But my number 2 was the San Cristobal Ovation.
Okay. Wow, I haven't had that. How was it?
Man, that was a dynamic stick.
You know, I don't smoke enough
Burn, appearance.
Cristobal's.
Appearance. Oh, man. That last third, it gave me a little bit of a pepper. I couldn't pick out which one it was, but it was only on the retrohale. And I was like, oh, my God, this is good, man. And my last one, the Rocky Patel Age Limited Rare.
I haven't had that.
Dude.
Is it really good?
You got to get that one.
You know what? I picked one up, and somebody told me, because I said, I'm not a big Rocky guy.
Yeah.
Am I going to really enjoy this? Yeah. And you know what he said? Go get the Tabanero. That's what he said.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad I wasn't there that day because mine was good.
I understand. So this week, my 3 is right out the gate. This is one that I normally would never smoke, but I did. And it was actually pretty darn good. It was the nub, but it was that Figurado, and it was the Habano.
I haven't had that.
It was actually a good smoke. And you know what? It's weird because it's a small Figurado. Yep. You know what I mean? It's not like the Placencia.
I got you.
Almafuerte.
Yeah.
That one is. I mean, shoot, that's like a 6.5 inch.
Yeah.
And so,
and
but
this one
that
is not.
nub,
Yeah.
Everything with the nub is shrunk down.
Y'all probably did see his hands shrunk down.
I've been swimming.
It was cold.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I mean, it's still PG.
Yeah, thank you.
So, for now. But anyway, no, that was actually a good smoke. It surprised me, and I'm not a big nub fan.
I almost spit my stick out. Come on, dude.
I'm just saying.
He's not opening the door. He kicking this damn door open. Why? Here. And I'm like, no, I can't do it.
It was almost like if you were in the back in the Havana room and I wasn't wearing any pants.
Like you did Saturday. Oh, I come in there.
All right.
I'm like, you got some long pants on. He stands up and just pulls them down. I'm like, first I started turning my head. I was like, oh, no. I saw he got some drawers. Because Rob, you never know with him. And he doesn't care.
I do like to be comfortable. Now you know what comes with your membership at the Havana room.
Striptease, but not like you want.
No.
Brown cow.
No, I would say albino chicken cow.
You get brighter back there.
Bryant thought Heaven's Gate had opened, and he was like, nope.
I was like, oh, my God, man.
But anyway, no, my number 2 this week is the Tabanero Mike.
I haven't had that one.
It's I believe it is a Habano, and it's about 3.5 inches long by a 60 ring gauge, and it's a torpedo.
I haven't had that one.
You are missing out.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
You've had one, haven't you? Oh,
he's got it. He
he's got
hasn't
one.
smoked
Yeah.
it. He has it.
He got that when he was filling in for you.
Oh, it was supposed to be mine? Oh! He said, I'm going to give it to Brian, but I didn't say Bryant. I got the first four right. It's five, right?
I actually said to myself, whoever's sitting in that chair, I'm giving this cigar to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, always.
So anyway, that's my number 2. And I hate to sound like I'm just beating a dead horse, but man, the Tabanero cigars are knocking it out of the park every single time.
You're not beating a dead, you're just telling the truth.
Yeah. You know what?
And
that's the thing. And let me tell you what. Isn't it so much better talking about Tabanero than the Alpha dogs?
Man, you killed me with them. I tried to give them things away, man.
So I was telling Brian about that. He was like, so they sent you cigars? They sent you like 2 boxes? I was like, no, they sent 8.
8 boxes. He smoked 2.
No, I smoked 3.
3. The other million failed. Dude, I was trying to give these things away. Folks like, no, I ain't never heard of that. And they give back, damn, I got to smoke this.
No. And if they smelled it.
Oh, yeah, because that absence.
Yeah.
He was like, what is that? I said, well.
I mean, I'm not a fan of infused cigars. Anything. I mean, I don't care if it's bourbon or, well, I do like that Pappy Van Winkle cigar.
I haven't tried it, but.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. But the Macanudo bourbon is just as good.
Well, you don't know that if you've never smoked it.
I'm talking about from my preference. Have you smoked a Macanudo bourbon?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say one way or the other. I'm just saying I don't know.
Continue on.
Anyway, my 3rd stick of the week is the Pappy Van Winkle.
Where'd you get one from?
At the Leaf.
There? Dude, I haven't been to the Leaf in 2 weeks.
They've been there for months.
I didn't see that part. I go, my mind.
I
know where my stuff is.
And I'm going to tell you.
I get mad. So.
And I'm going to tell you where they are. When you walk in, you go past the little island. You go down, where the Viva La Vida are?
Yes.
Keep
definitely.
walking. And then there's a space. And then there's another island. They're right there on the corner.
There's nothing on that island I like. That's why I never look on that island. I get the Viva La Vida, then I turn immediately to the right.
And to be fair, me either, because, I'm going to offend people, but, everybody has their own palate.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not a fan of the Ligas.
Yeah, and I don't get them.
It's just. I just don't get it.
Gotcha.
But like Brian said, he likes them, and so does that make me think less of Brian? Yes,
yeah, I know, because we know you.
Absolutely, it does. No, but I mean, everybody has a different palate. But so it's Drew Estates has some stuff on that table, and then on the flip side, it's all the cigarillos.
Yeah,
and I don't smoke those.
Me neither. That's why I don't look on that island.
Right. So you have to remember, and I last time I saw it, there was only like 4 or 5 left.
I try to catch one because I come in there and I stop at Viva La Vida. I get 2. I get the Jester, and I get about 2 or 3 Club 500s. Then I immediately turn to the right and look on the wall, and I walk down the wall. I don't even look at that.
You know what I love about Tabanero and McAuliffe, the location in the humidor. They're exactly right next to each other.
Right there.
It's
right
like
there.
I don't have to boom and boom.
I go to that corner, I stop, I grab a few, then I go immediately across, and that's where the definitions are.
Right.
And I grab me some definitions, and I come back down the wall, and I try to think, okay, am I going to grab a Monte Cristo because I don't want Rob to see me smoke this Monte Cristo because he's going to say something.
Yes.
And I grab it, and I take it home, and you never see it.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about the Definition of Cigars. I haven't been smoking them because I was having issues with the construction. I want to know what your experience
no issues
has been.
with the construction going forward because when you were having the issues, I was too.
Okay.
But evidently they went back, we reworked it. Quality control is better. I have 2 of the new ones I'm going to smoke. And I want to find out exactly how they are.
He whispered, I'm going to smoke those on the next show. Yeah, you're on video. He shot me the finger.
And it wasn't number 1. But their construction is better.
You know what? I am pulling for those guys.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I enjoyed talking with them,
Yes.
hanging out with them. They are a bunch of good dudes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started having problems with the construction. I know some other people that did as well. You said you did, but you say they have fixed whatever the issue was.
I haven't had an issue since.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, then I'm going to go buy me a couple.
Dude, roll with it. And grab the lime green ribbon.
What's that?
It's the Agent 5.
Agent 5. I don't know that one. I like the dark green that's the Cameroon.
Yeah, and we love the Cameroon. But the lime green, try it.
So, well, hey, guys, we've got the interview coming up next with the coolest smoking chick you've ever met. And so we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Okay, 8 seconds. Hey guys, we want to welcome to the show a special guest all the way from across the pond. We have Sophia from England who's been smoking cigars for quite some time. Did I mess up your name?
Yes, Sophia.
Sophia. I said Sophia. Anyway, Sophia, right?
Very good.
Okay. All the way from England, and not your typical girl smoker that we know here in the States. She has 3 motorcycles. She is a country girl living in a barn. She's a journalist, an author, a handyman. She's going back to school to become a mechanic. I mean, you're all over the place, and we want to say thank you for taking the time to be our guest.
Well, that's right. Thank you very much for asking me. Very kind of you.
Well, so tell us a little bit about your cigar history. Being in England, you told me in another conversation that you've been smoking for about 21 years. That's roughly, you started in 2000.
Yes. I think if I do a bit of cigar investigation, the first photograph of me I can find with a cigar is arsing around with a friend, and that was just before the millennium. So, but I mean, I must have smoked before that, but in about 2000, I started smoking cigars and nothing else.
Okay. And so what was your first experience like? I mean, did you go to a tobacconist or a cigar shop?
Yeah, the first one. Well, when I started, I used to smoke cigarettes, gave up cigarettes, and was daily, I don't know, trying to cope with this horrible yearning for a fag first thing in the morning. And then after 3 years, I just sort of succumbed to it. Went off, bought a packet of cigarettes, lit one up. I was in the car because I just thought, I was so excited. And it was horrible. I just thought it was absolutely horrible. But I knew that I still wanted to smoke. I had this yearning, So I went and bought some cigars. I went to a tobacconist.
Now, did you already know how to smoke cigars?
No, I hadn't smoked cigars. I mean, I might have had 1 or 2, but I do something very bad though as well, because I used to smoke cigarettes. I inhale cigars. I try not to.
Oh, you're not supposed to inhale cigars.
I know.
Now, I have a very good friend, and he inhales cigars, and I'm always giving him a hard time. But you know what? Mm-hmm. He does it the way he wants to do it. And he's 70, and he's 72, so he can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Well, I try not to, but I must say that if I just hold the smoke in my mouth and then release it, it doesn't give me the same satisfaction as if I'm
now. Do you retrohale?
I do retrohale.
Yeah, I'd love to retrohale, and to me, that's where you get the similarity of almost inhaling. But when you retrohale, you get so much of that flavor versus just
You do.
puffing.
You do, because it's, I mean, I like to sort of swish it around my mouth, and then so your tongue is tasting all these different flavors. You know how different parts of your tongue taste different things. You have a sweet peppers, and so you get this overall sort of, I don't know, just proper, this sort of in-depth taste of it. And even going back, the back of your throat and where everything else it goes to come out of your nose, you can really, really experience all the flavors of cigar.
Now, I got to ask you, though, you say that you inhale some of your cigars. You're not inhaling it like you would a cigarette, right? I mean, you're just letting a little bit go down, or are you puffing the whole thing?
Shall I show you now what I do?
So that looks to me like you're puffing the whole cigar. If I did that, I would cough up a lung.
Yeah, I don't.
I can see that.
But I try not to, but then I find myself doing it, because otherwise it just, I don't know, it's...
Well, there is something that, because I smoked cigarettes too for like 24 years back when I was young. And there's something that is, relaxing with the inhale and exhale, because it's almost like you're doing a breathing exercise. You know what I mean? And so that's why a lot of people love smoking cigarettes, because they're constantly doing that breathing exercise and they don't even know it. But when I inhale a cigar on accident, like I did 2 days ago, I thought I was going to die.
No, I try not to, but I would say probably 90% of the time I do.
So let me ask you this. When you started smoking cigars and going to the tobacconist shop, were there other ladies smoking cigars, or were you like standing out like a sore thumb?
Well, it's sort of different with you over there, because when I've been to Texas and New York and Oklahoma and been buying cigars, generally in your sort of cigar shops, you have somewhere that you can sit as well and, socialize. But the one that I used to go to in Devon, in Exeter, that's closed down now, but that was just a shop. It had quite a good selection, but there was nowhere that you could sit.
So where do you go to smoke cigars if you're not at home?
Well, just wherever I am. I've always got a cigar with me, so wherever I am, I just smoke. I mean, if you go to somewhere like London, then they have cigar lounges. You can sit down and smoke, but yeah, it's a rarity for a woman. And I've had some pretty odd sort of things, people have said.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in a negative way?
Yes. And both, actually. But I remember going, because I farm, and I always used to farm, and I remember going to the Royal Show, which is...
What's the Royal Show?
It's a very prestigious agricultural show.
Oh.
And every year I used to go and take a team of rams and show my rams. And I remember this one year coming out of the show in my Land Rover with a trailer behind full of rams. And I was smoking a cigar. And as I was going out, this other car was coming in with a bloke in it. And he was saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. He was saying something to me, but I couldn't hear. So I opened up the window and I thought he was going to say, which entrance is it for, something like this. But he said something and I said, what? And then he said, that's bloody disgusting, that is. He That's bloody disgusting. A lady smoking a cigar. And I said, what's more disgusting? A lady smoking a cigar or a total stranger swearing at her? And just drove off. And then, you get the other thing as well, the sort of vulgar remark from people.
And being that we have just recently met through social media, what I gather about you, though, is you could care less what they say.
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't care what people say.
I know that 100%.
I do whatever I like always, and we say over here, don't give a toss. So I really couldn't give a toss what people think. If I think it's okay, then it's okay.
I do things that I don't even think is okay, and I still do it anyway.
I do those as well.
So, like in the United States, while you traveled to Texas and Oklahoma, were you able to go to some cigar lounges and actually smoke at the lounge?
Yeah.
And how was that experience for you being from England?
That was lovely. Everyone in Texas, everyone was absolutely adorable. They were so, so lovely. And so we'd find out where all these cigar lounges were and go to them. And it was just great to be able to, we did a few swaps as well. I shouldn't probably say that, but we did. We did a few swaps.
You swapped with cigars with other people?
So I shouldn't really say this, I won't tell you where they were, but some of them, the cigar lounge owners had never had a Cuban cigar. And we brought Cuban cigars with us.
Right.
So, we do the occasional swap as well.
And I'm curious as to how long was your trip to Texas and Oklahoma? Like 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I think.
How many cigars did you bring with you on that trip from England?
I think we only bought 50 with us. Yeah.
That sounds like a good amount, 50.
Yeah. We swapped a few, but we'd, one cigar would be worth, I don't know, 3 New World cigars or something.
Now, just to clarify for you guys listening, when she says New World cigars, she means every cigar made outside of Cuba, not the A.J. Fernandez New World cigar.
Yeah, that's what we called them.
Right. And so you were here for 3 weeks. You brought 50 cigars. I like that. When I travel, I take tons of cigars because you never know. And I love giving cigars away to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but over here, they're so expensive. We were saying this, weren't we? I mean, you can't buy a cigar over here for less than, I think the cheapest one is about £12.
And is that a good one or is that a bad one?
No, it's a good one. I think the cheapest decent Cuban cigar, really, I mean, is Quintero's quite cheap, and they're very good.
Okay.
They're very good, reliable smokes. I like them.
So, did you notice the difference in the cigar community from England to Texas? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, do you guys have cigar communities? Because, I mean, here in the States, that's huge. That's one of my favorite things about being a cigar smoker is that you're part of this community that's just very friendly all the time.
But the only time I've come across a cigar community is actually on Instagram. But before that, no, I hadn't. I mean, I'm right in the middle of nowhere here. I'm southwest England. It's very, very rural. I don't know anyone that smokes cigars, of my friends, really. So I'm the only one that does. And everyone's used to it. So then they always say something like, oh, God, Sophia's going out for a cigar or something.
So
if I go to something like that with friends,
have you
I just pop up.
gotten have you gotten any of your friends to smoke cigars? To have tried them?
Yeah, they tried them, but they normally go.
That's hilarious. So tell me a little bit about, when did you start riding motorcycles, and what's that love affair that you have with motorcycles? Because you have 3.
I have 3, yes, which I think is the optimum number of motorcycles. And I like to have, it's like horses in a stable. They're for different things. So I've got, and the odd thing is that they're all my 3 bikes, which is very, very unusual. And it was just, I didn't do it on purpose, but they're all American imports. But I have a cruiser. It's an XV 1700, and that came from Texas.
Oh, nice.
And
now, is that the racing looking bike?
No, that's the big cruiser. So,
oh, okay.
people...
the Valkyrie.
Sorry?
It's the Valkyrie? Is that what you're saying?
Valkyrie? What do you mean?
That's the name of it, is the Valkyrie.
No. It's Yamaha XV 1700. It's called a Midnight Star.
Oh, okay. And that's your big cruiser.
That's my cruiser. So, and I'm very small as well. So I've had to have all of my bikes lowered. I'm only 5'4". You probably do. I don't know how you measure. You don't do feet and inches, do you?
Well, 5'4", that's a feet and inches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am small. So I've had all of them lowered. But even though with that one, it's massive. It's, 350 kilos in weight. But the center of, the weight is low. But people say things to me all the time. Like somebody said the other day, they passed me at, I was stopped at traffic lights, and they said that they saw me and they thought, first of all, I must be a child on a normal sized bike. And then they realized that I was, a woman on a huge bike. But, so yeah, I've got the cruiser, and I've got a super bike, which is the Gixxer. And that's GSXR 750.
Yeah,
and
that's the fast bike. That's the one that you go fast.
Very, very. That's like having a devil on your shoulder saying, "Go on."
So, and then what's the other one? It looks like almost like a cafe racer. Yeah.
Well, that's a classic bike, which I don't know where it came from in America, but that's a Suzuki GS 750. And I bought that to make it into a cafe racer, because I did an article on the Turn Up Club and the cafe racers, and the original Turn Up boys, they were called. And I was so interested that I thought that's what I want to do as well. So I bought the GS 750 because I loved the shape of the tank. That was the main thing, and I loved this sort of inline 4 and huge, great big engine, but it looked, the way that it looks now, it looked nothing like that when I bought it.
Okay, so you turned it into a cafe racer.
Yeah, it was pretty standard.
So you put like the seat that you have on it now, did you put the seat on it? Because I love those.
Yeah, I taught myself to weld with that bike. So I bought a weld. And I bought an angle grinder. And I angle grinded or angle ground, whatever you'd like to say, part of the frame.
Now so everybody knows, if you're watching the YouTube video, I'm putting her motorcycle pictures up so you can see them. So if you're not watching the YouTube, you're missing out, because this bike does not look like it looks like you hired a professional to do it, and you taught yourself how to do all these things, because when you're passionate about something, you just do it.
So I welded on a hoop at the back, and I pinched some sheets of stainless steel. It had these side panels, which I thought were really ugly. So I took them off, and I, got the angle grinder again, cut out those ones. I made the seat from stainless steel as well. took off the handlebars and put those sort of, I call them go-tier ones, but they're called Ace ones. They're clip-ons.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I love the bike. You did a phenomenal job. It looks really good.
Thank you very much. I love it. Every time I look at it, I think, oh God, it's so beautiful.
And you have on the like 60s, 1960s, early 70s style leather jacket that the guys wore back with the cafe racers.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's vanity, but I wear different things for the bike. So on the cruiser, I wear just black leathers. And on that one, on the cafe racer, I wear a sort of blue and black thing. And I wear blue to match, blue motorbike trousers. And then on the superbike, the really fast one, you have to wear full leathers, really. But they're so boring. And those ones, I don't know if you can see, but I've got some red full leathers, but they were black and they had massive silver and yellow bits. So I dyed them. I painted it all red. So I do lots of things like that, and I like them now.
Now, I think that you're like this person that you have these just crazy ideas pop in your head, and then you're like, I'm going to make that happen.
I do. So even with I kept looking at it and thinking, I want it to look slightly different. So what I did, I wanted it to have more of a sort of dip in the middle, more of a sort of, streamline. So it was down in the barn. I'd had a whiskey or two, came down to the barn, took the seat off, and it was black, and it was really capacious, and it had these studs. And I hated the studs. So I took the leather off, took all the foam off, got the angle grinder again, cut off about 2 inches all around it. And then I was looking online for motorbike upholstery material. And it's really expensive. And then I realized that exactly the same thing is a yoga mat. So I bought a yoga mat, doubled it up, and got those bits of leather, sort of tailored it and put it on. And it's great because it makes the bike lower for me. It's narrower, so I've got more room there as well. Really, really comfy. I'm only 8 stone. And it's, those seats are big, and they're meant for a big sort of bloke, probably twice the weight of me. So I make no indentation on it, really.
Well, and I was looking at the photo of you on the super bike. That's a really big bike, too. That's not small. That's big.
It is big, but I am small, so I probably make all of them look big.
Okay, that's true. So on the super bike, have you ever been like out on like the Autobahn or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
And how fast did you go?
I'm not really allowed to say. Well, we have a 70 limit.
I thought the Autobahn you could go however fast you wanted.
Well, no, Autobahn is German, doesn't it? But it's the motorway. But no, in England on the motorway we can only do 70.
Oh, so you probably have gone at least twice that. Yes. I had a motorcycle back in the day, and I definitely went twice that. But for me, it was scary.
Well, you choose a place to pick up your speed.
Yeah, I was not where I should have been doing the 140. I was on a country farm road thinking any second now a rabbit is going to run out in front of me and I'm going to die.
You see, that's the thing. So many people in the countryside, they think that because there's not many cars on the road, you can do any sort of speed you want. But I'm, always very conscious that, a sheep could come out of a field, or,
right.
Rabbits or deer, might jump across the road, something like that. So I like to think I'm pretty careful.
So that's good. And I mean, the good thing is you're not riding around in a city all the time. See, I think that's the worst. I don't want to be riding a motorcycle in a city where there's lots and lots of really bad drivers.
Yeah, but I said that recently I've started college again, and that's in Plymouth, which is a city in Devon.
And how far is that?
Oh, it takes about an hour and a quarter. But if I go in my car, it takes about an hour and 40 minutes. If I go in the motorbike, I can do it much quicker.
Wow.
But then it's getting cold at the moment, so.
So you're going back to school to learn mechanics.
Yeah, motorcycle mechanics.
So specifically motorcycle mechanics.
Yeah.
And so what is it that you can't do now that you want to do?
What it is that I don't like to have to depend on anyone else, really. So when I've had to do something to one of the bikes, I've always had to ask other people, really. I've done some of the things on my own and some of the things with other people so that I could watch. But then I thought, I want to, you could break down or anything. So the other thing is as well, I suppose, I can do lots of things, but they're not incredibly, I'm not the best person in the world at making a living. So I thought that if I do cycle mechanics, not only will it be really useful, and I can do my own bikes, but then I could make money doing other people's bikes as well. So I'm learning. I'm very diligent. And my teacher says that I don't actually need to use my brain as much as I do.
And I would think that with everything that you do, you don't have time to be working on someone else's motorcycle.
But I'd like to.
You'd like to, but where are you going to find the time? You don't have time.
Well, I mean, if I'm not at college, I've got all of that time. When I finished, because this is a year's course.
Right.
And then you do another year and then another year. So the highest you can do is sort of, level 3. I'm just doing level 1 at the moment. But that's what I like to do. And, where I live, I live in a barn. So downstairs is absolutely huge. And there's definitely room for a lot of motorbikes down there.
Very good. So are you close to where you get to go see like the super bike races?
No, I'm not. They're sort of Midlands and, other places, the TT races, stuff like that. But where I am, there's not really much apart from sheep and cattle.
Right.
So you have to travel whatever I want to do, I have to travel.
Okay. Well, because I could definitely see you like as a pit crew member for the super bike racers.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's a great way to make a living, and there's lots of time off. And you need lots of time off because you have so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, tell us about what you're smoking this evening.
Oh, I'm smoking Romeo and Julieta, and it's just called a number 1. So
and that's a Cuban cigar.
Cuban cigar. It's a lovely cigar. Nice and smooth.
I am smoking. What?
When I spoke to you the other day, I was thinking about my favorite New World ones. And then you'll probably be shocked at this one, but one that I really love is Kentucky Fire Cured Swamp Thing.
Now, I don't like the Swamp Thing, but I do like the Kentucky Fire Cured on occasion. I wouldn't want to smoke it all the time, but on occasion, I enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I think that has a sort of smell of the farmyard, and that's what I like about it. It smells like, sort of cut grass and.
In Texas, we say it smells like a barbecue.
I wouldn't say barbecue, but no, I love that. It's got this sort of real rural taste for me and smell. Really like those.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of cigars, and sometimes after smoking like 4 or 5 cigars in a row, I like to smoke one of those because it really sets off my palate, and all of a sudden I can taste again. You know what I mean? Because it's so different from all the other cigars.
It is. I think they're lovely. Really, really lovely. The first New World cigar I ever tried was the only New World cigars that we could get at the time in England, and that was Alec Bradley Black Market, which is an excellent.
Yeah, I was one of our last guests, the Catman, wrote a article on the Alec Bradley Black Market, and I've never had that cigar, but he was saying it was actually a really good cigar.
It's a really good cigar. It won loads of, cigar awards as well. It's a really, really good cigar. I like most things that Alec Bradley does, actually.
Yeah, you even have one of those ginormous Texas Lanceros.
But I bought something. In Texas, I bought the most ridiculous cigar. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was absolutely huge.
Oh, it was the Lunatic by... Yeah, but that's Aganorsa Leaf actually makes those. Those are. Did you smoke it? Yes.
Yeah. So I did. I thought it was going to be horrible, but it wasn't.
I will not smoke one of those.
Have you not?
I will not smoke one of those.
It was all right. It was really. I took it fishing with me. And after I'd sort of had a spell of fishing, I just sat on the riverbank and smoked that for however long it took.
Yeah, how long did it take to smoke that cigar? Like 2.5, 3, 4 hours?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I can't smoke one of those. That goes against my policy.
I like to try all sorts of things. And I'm not a snob. You're obviously a snob.
No, I'm not a snob. I'm not. Everybody that knows me knows I'm not a snob.
But in England, I think there is quite a sort of snob culture around cigars. But I like to break that.
Yeah, in the States, it's totally different. In the States, it's like, I'm sure you've heard the term Brothers of the Leaf. And we have that unspoken rule that we treat each other with respect, we treat each other graciously, and we're normally just friends without even talking. If we're smoking, we're both of the same brother. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that it's not that way in England.
It's not that. It's more of a sort of snobbery around cigars. So you'll find lots of people, and I don't think that really they're proper sort of cigar smokers, but lots of people think that the more expensive a cigar, it's going to be better. But obviously, as you know, that's not the case.
Right. Not at all.
No.
So, and tell everybody before we go what you're drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking Glenkeith single malt, Speyside single malt.
And so you're a Scotch girl.
Yeah. And there's plenty to choose from here as well.
See, over here, because Scotch is imported, it's also very expensive. Is it expensive over there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much it is over there. It is expensive, but this would cost about £40.
Okay, well, that's not that expensive. That's not that expensive.
But then a few weeks ago, I stayed with a friend of mine in her castle, and she said, I've got this lovely. I've got this brilliant whiskey selection, so come over. And we were drinking Irish whiskey, this one called Middleton, and it was beautiful. It was like supping on, finest mountain air or something. And that cost about £700 a bottle.
Wow.
So you can, I know. It was a one-off experience.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be those on my own.
So how big is this friend of yours castle? How big is the castle?
It's pretty big. She sort of got 4 floors of, very beautiful. Lots of lovely grounds.
How many bedrooms?
Oh, God, I've got no idea. Lots of bedrooms.
See, you're not as nosy as me. I'd have to ask.
Well, I sort of haven't counted or asked, really. I mean, she's a good friend, so I normally stay in a different bedroom as well. It's nice when you go right up to the top, because then it's all sort of castellated and you're in the old tower. So.
And does she smoke cigars?
No, she doesn't. She smokes roll-ups.
I assume roll-ups means marijuana.
No.
Oh,
No.
Oh, she rolls her own cigarettes.
Rolls her own, yes. Just sort of Golden Virginia.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Well, I don't know how it is in the United States or in the England area, but in the United States, lots and lots of states are legalizing marijuana. So that's a big uprising. And in Texas, it's still illegal. So none of that here.
No. It's definitely illegal everywhere here. And it's not something I do. And I don't do cigarettes either. I just do cigars.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time and coming on the show. And we look forward to seeing what you do when you get out of motorcycle mechanic school.
Yes, booking your motorbikes with me.
Yes. And you know what? We will have you back on the show again in the future. I hope you'll join us. And we would love to hear about your experience working on motorbikes.
I'd love that. My magpie's drinking my cordial at the moment. But no, I'd love that. And thank you very, very much. It's been lovely. Lovely talking
I've
to you.
enjoyed having you on, and we look forward to seeing what you do. Thank you so much, and have a great week.
Okay. Take care then. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Sophia. I butchered it again. During the interview, before the interview, I said Sophia, or, Sophia.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, no, it's, and then she told me, and then I said, Sophia? And she was like, no.
Nope.
And I was like, I'm just going to say cool smoking chick. I can pronounce every one of those words
Easily.
No, but thank you so much for being a guest. Dude, she's going back to college 20 years later for motorcycle mechanics.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But no.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I mean, and she's doing that because she has 3 motorcycles.
She got 3 motorcycles.
I don't want to have to be taking them into the shop. I can just do it myself.
Yep.
Dude, she already bought a welder, a grinder.
Oh.
She completely turned a old Suzuki or Yamaha, whatever it was, into a cafe racer.
Wow.
And she,
wow.
I mean, dude, yeah, I mean, I'm like, she makes
That's
me
cool.
feel insecure.
She's living my life.
I told Larry, someone was like, man, I'm going to have to learn how to do this thing with the plumbing. And I was like, see, for me, I'm like, I don't want to have to pay a plumber, but I'm gonna.
I'm gonna do it. Don't worry.
I don't have those skills. Do you?
Nope. Now, working on a car, yeah. But in the house,
Yeah, but
and woodwork.
Now, when you say that, is that all cars?
No, these new cars, no.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. That's why I'm trying to get me, as they call them now, old school.
The classics.
They call it old school, a 70-something, because I know I can work on that.
Yeah, I popped the hood on a 70s model car, and I was like, There's nothing in there. That is so cool.
Hey, look at all this space.
I
can see the ground.
Hey, I recognize the parts that are
Yes.
connected to the
All
motor.
all of these parts. And guess what? I can work on these.
So
New car, you open the hood. Where's the ground?
So and that leads me to
Oh, yeah, tell us about your week, Rob.
So yeah, you know what? It started out really good.
Yeah.
Started out really good because I last weekend I took a 3-day weekend, and anyway, my daughter's car crapped out, and you know
It had 1 million miles.
yeah, she got every dime
Yes.
worth out of it that I paid for it. But I got to get her a new ride.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I'm not buying her a new ride because I'm poor. And so I start looking around, start reading about, you know, older models
Yeah.
and what really lasts. And what I zeroed in on was a 4Runner.
Okay.
Four-
Toyota 4Runner.
Dude, have you looked?
I know what, yeah.
I went onto a site that was like all about 4Runners, and under the review section was over 2,000 reviews. I did a search in those reviews for the keyword mechanical.
Smart.
It came up with 57 out of 2,000 that said the word mechanical.
Okay. What adjective was before that, though?
No mechanical issues on all 57.
That's good.
And
That's
I was,
good.
and dude, people are getting like 300,000 and 400,000 miles, and I'm like, how is that possible?
With those cars, like they say with a Honda, Toyota, as long as you keep up the oil and the preventive maintenance,
Right,
the body will rust
like
away.
right, and I saw actually one that the body underneath the frame was rusting out.
And it was still rolling.
Oh, I mean, they were selling it and it was cheap, but they were like, hey, just so you know, you're going to have to do this. But I was just blown away with how many miles you can get on that nice of a ride. And so anyway, I found one for X amount of dollars, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to get that. And so, you know, I am a huge bargainer. And huge. I am a tremendous bargainer. So no, and so, you know, when you go to buy a car, you have to have certain knowledge about what you're buying, what the competitors are selling it for, what you can get one for somewhere else.
Because if you don't, you'll get taken.
Right. So I did all this research, and, you know, I knew exactly, I was going to say, you know what, I can get this basically same model, make, year model with, you know, 30,000 less miles, and it's $1,500 cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be able to have that on my hip. So anyway, my daughter comes in, and I show her on the computer, like, I don't know, 15 different cars. And she basically nixed every single one of them.
No. Definitely no.
Hey, and when I closed down the screen, I had Facebook open, and she saw a 1995 Jeep Cherokee with a straight six 4.0 liter, which
that'll run forever too.
And I had already talked to this guy, and it only had 113,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Right? And body was good shape. The interior was old, but it was not, you know, beat up. And so anyway, I talked to the guy, and I was like, you know what, I'll let you know. But I wasn't planning on letting my daughter see that one.
It was going to be on your hip pocket too.
Right. But she just saw it and was like, hey, click on that one. And I was like, I already talked to that guy. And you know what? I was like, screw it. That's what she really wants. That's always been her dream vehicle. I'll make it happen.
Grab it.
So anyway, I contacted the guy, and he's out of town. He brings the vehicle to Abilene and lets me take it for a cruise. You know what? It was great. Smooth. The engine sounded great. The AC did not blow cold.
Okay.
Which, you know,
older vehicle in Texas.
vehicle, but that's a you got to have AC.
Yes, you do.
So when we went back, I said, hey, man, you want to hop in? I want to take the vehicle over to where my daughter is and let her see it. And so he was like, sure. So he hops in, we drive, and I think we probably drove about 10 blocks, and it died. And I was like, whipping into the parking lot. I was like, he was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, it died.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know what? It didn't have a battery in it.
Okay.
And I put a battery from another old car in there.
Uh-huh.
And so it probably needs a new battery. And I was like, okay. He goes, and I'll pay for that. And I was like, cool. And I said, hey, and by the way, the AC's not blowing cold. And he's like, oh, you know what? It probably needs some Freon. I'll buy that too.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude's winning me over, you know?
I'm not paying for stuff right now.
Right. So anyway, then my daughter, she's, 20. She's moody. She's like, doesn't want me to come by.
Okay.
And I'm like, she's like, whatever you think, we're good.
We're running with it. Okay.
And so we go back, and he says, let me run right over here to the auto parts store, and I'm going to get Freon, and I'll replace the battery. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I went and got the money, came back, cranked it up, no issues, and then the AC is blowing ice cold.
Okay.
I'm like, sweet, man, here's the money. And so then my wife meets me at the house, and I'm like, hey, hop in. I want to take you for a ride.
Okay.
And she hops in, and like we get about 7 or 8 blocks, and it dies.
Again?
Except this time, it doesn't restart.
Oh.
It's just dead.
Oh.
And my
Yes.
my wife is with me, and she is rolling her eyes. She's huffing. Yes, because on the record, my wife was all against it
In the beginning.
Yes. So I'm scoring points.
Yeah, this just solidified her base already.
And after about 30 minutes, I get under the hood, tinker around, nothing's working, and it's still not cranking. We're actually about 14 blocks from the house.
Good Lord.
And we're kind of in the road. We're not up against the curb. And so my wife walks home to get her van.
Wow, she walked home. Oh, yeah, you really. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
I say, it was my idea. I said, why don't you go to the house?
You walk. I'll stay here.
Well, it was out in the road. I don't want to leave my wife out in the middle of the road.
Why didn't you push it and have her steer and you push? Oh, shut up, Brian. Shut up, Brian.
All right. So anyway, my wife, before she walks home, though, we're sitting in the vehicle when it first happened, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call the guy and tell him deal's off. I want my money back.
I want my money back.
So I call him, and he answers, and I say, hey, man, car died. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, man, it just died just like it did before, except now it won't start. And he says, hey, where are you at? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, hey, 1 second, let me call you right back. And I said, okay. So 10 minutes goes by.
It's a long second.
And then, so I text him. I said, hey, I don't know what's taking so long. Because your wife's not sitting next to you. But anyway, no, I texted him, and when I sent, it didn't go through.
Yeah, you got blocked.
So then I called him. It didn't go through.
He blocked.
He blocked me.
I ain't talking to this dude. I got the money.
So then I call him from my wife's phone, and he doesn't answer.
Because it's a 325.
No, it's a 832, which is Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
So anyway, whatever. But we had been talking on Facebook. So I went to Facebook to message him, and then he had blocked me on Facebook.
Oh, see, he don't know who he messing with because you're that dude.
Well, that was the first thought that came to my mind.
Rob jumped out the car and started pulling his shirt open. He doesn't know.
That's where like most people would like draw the line.
Yeah.
I don't have a line.
Never.
How far will he go? How far can he go? when will he pass out from exhaustion? Because that's how far
he'll still keep going.
Yeah, so I'm kind of pissed. My wife's not happy.
Which really makes you even more pissed.
I'm calling a tow truck.
Oh, man.
And, my mind.
Yes. What devious things can I do?
What?
You remember Bullwinkle? What was his name?
The dash
bars. He's sitting there. What dastardly thing can I do now?
So, I unaccepptible. I'm not going to go into my reaan.
We might get blocked on.
I don't know if law enforcement listens to the show. No. I did show some restraint.
You? Little. God, the dude probably thought it was a lot, but to me, it was a little.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, he doesn't know some other stories because sometimes
you blow it out of boy.
I amaze myself.
Yes, no, you amaze like the FBI. No, hey. They sit back and they look at your phone. They're like, he did. Hey, come here, look. Did you see what he did?
Some people. I see amazement. Other people see fear.
Yeah.
Twisted, demented.
This dude did. Yes, he did. That's Rob. But what happened at the end?
The car's at the shop.
Okay.
And the guy that sold me the car is showing me that he is an honorable guy.
Oh, okay.
He said, whatever the shop charges, I got it.
He's scared of you. What?
No.
I wish we could find out what you did.
I didn't do anything. Pass me that lighter. I said, have a good day, sir.
No, you never said that. You had to write that down and say it now.
It sounded like that.
Oh, man. But so the car's in the shop and the guy's saying he's going to get it fixed. Oh, man, I wished I could have seen your face. He blocked me? Me?
And you know what my wife said? And she's spot on.
Okay.
Is I always see the best in other people. I always trust them.
You or
me?
Oh.
I trust other people. I mean, you know what? I think that you are a rock solid guy until you prove me wrong.
Okay.
And you know what? On one side, that is one of the things that just keeps me mostly as a positive person. Okay. Because if everybody had to earn that, it would be like, I'm too busy. You know what I mean? I don't have time for you to prove yourself. I'm going to let you have that up front. Okay. And now you are the only one that can fuck that up.
Oh, no, we just lost the culprit.
Oh, well, it was worth it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And now, are you that way?
No.
So you're not.
I'm an ex-police
officer.
So
you think
I believe everybody lying to me.
Bryant's like, everyone's guilty.
Yep. You got to prove that you're innocent to me.
When Bryant was a cop, he's like, I know you're guilty. I just don't know what you've done.
No, I know you're lying. I just got to figure out what you're lying about. Keep talking.
Yeah.
It'll come out.
And you know what? And now, did you learn that as a cop, or were you that way when you went in?
No, when I went in, I was like you. I trusted everybody.
Gotcha.
Up front until you. But when I became a cop, that's not the mentality to have as a police officer at all. It didn't take me long to get that at all.
They were like, "You're doing it all wrong."
Yeah. First day, we need to talk to you again. Come here. I was like, oh, okay. And then with that mentality in police, I realized, everybody's like. When they saw us, they were already, first of all, this was before they saw us. When they knew they did wrong, the cops coming, the lies start formulating. This is what I'm going to say. This is what, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that. So all I'm going to do is just sit down and listen.
I'll tell you this. Whenever I was in that situation, and I wasn't a cop, so you know I'm talking about the other guy.
We know.
And so I just shot from the hip.
And that's even worse.
No, I was golden. But the people that were with me were never golden. Do you know how many times I walked away and they went to jail?
And where was this at?
In Lubbock.
Okay. Because in these St. Louis, you can shoot from the hip all you want to, bro. You still coming with me. And when we get you down there and put them lights in your face, I'm going to let you keep talking. And every time you say something, we're recording everything you say.
Let me tell you something. Back in, well, you know what? Let's not give details.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was driving one night around midnight. I was doing about 95 down the freeway in Lubbock, and I passed up a highway patrolman. I'd been at a bar all day. And when I say all day, I mean like they opened at 11. And anyway, I was on my way back to meet my cousin at another bar.
Wow.
And anyway, you know, of course, he pulled me over.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, you in a hurry? And I was like, yeah, actually, I'm on my way to pick up my brother from work, and I'm running late. I said, I know I was speeding, but that's what was going on. And he's like, where's your brother work? And I said, he works at Abuelo's, and that's on the other side of town. And he was like, well, you missed the exit for Abuelo's. And I said, that's why I was going so fast.
That's why I started to speed. Well, and see, here's me. Well, guess what?
No, what
You're
he
going to
said
be a little
was,
bit later.
He said, you mind stepping back in my car?
Because I got some paperwork for you.
And I was like, no problem. So I go back there, and he's like, your eyes are pretty glassy. And I said, yeah, I've been crying all day. And he was like, how come? And I was like, just lost both my parents. I cried almost every day. So that seemed to be fitting. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And then he was like, you mind if I take a look in your car? And I was like, nope. Well, little did I know, I had left a half-drunk bottle of Jameson behind the driver's seat.
I was crying and drinking.
No, he missed it.
Wow.
He missed it. I don't know how he missed it. But anyway, he comes back, gets in the car, and says, Mr. Jones, you okay with doing a field sobriety test? Yes, sir. And he goes, all right, if you'll step out of the car. As I'm getting out of the car, as I'm putting my foot down on the ground, I say to myself, let's get this shit done. And I killed it.
All them little demons inside you say,
yeah, we got it, Rob. We got it. Anyway, I passed. I got a ticket for going 65 and a 95, and then I went on up to the bar and
continue.
I had people waiting on me.
Goodness gracious, man. But nah, bro, you wouldn't have made it in St. Louis. Wait a minute, what are you smoking?
Oh, I'm going to tell that in a second.
Because it just blew up. Yeah, it was on camera, so they saw it.
It burned my face. That ember landed right there. All right. Larry says we're done, but we're not done yet. I got one last thing to talk about,
Go ahead.
And that is LFD. I mean, no. Now, to be fair, I ripped this. I twisted this cigar like an Indian rub burn. Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
Larry over there. Hey, here's the funny thing. We rely on Big Dick Larry to give us.
Did he just say that?
For our politically correctness.
Larry, put the sign back up. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Put it up. Put it up.
Perfect. Hey, guys, I hope you had fun with us. We had a great time. And until next week,
keep smoking.